Hi, everybody. I'm Donna Reid, and this is Donna Reid Talks Voice. And today, Jackie Burns and I are going to be working with a very talented student, Sorelle. And Sorelle, please introduce yourself. Let people know who you are, where you're from.
Hi, my name is Sorelle Hattori. I am born and raised in Hawaii on the island of Oahu. I am in 11th grade and I just turned 17. I have a love for the arts, all of the arts, and I grew up immersed in two cultures here in Hawaii, and it was very special to me because I was able to incorporate both of my cultures in my learning. And I love musical theater, and I got to study a ton of musical theater with some awesome teachers here in Kapolei, where near where I live, and it's been so awesome. I love singing, and it's a really long time passion of mine, and I'm here to learn as much as I can.
Wonderful. Jackie, just say how to do to people.
Hi
And
guys.
how did you meet Sorelle and how did you start working with her?
I coach through via Zoom and Skype, and she reached out to my studio, and we've been working together now for how long? I don't even like a while.
Yeah, like I think 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember she sang this song, I'd Rather Be Me from Mean Girls, and I was blown away. I was like, how old are you? You're amazing. And what I love about her is that she's so fearless and she just loves, I love an actor that's just like ready to like just jump in and play. And that is what you have with her. You have just this like raw talent, just like waiting to just like explode. And she does. And so, I thought she was a perfect person to work with you because she is just so naturally gifted, and you have a way with people, especially people that just have this natural gift. You have a way of getting them out of their own way when they don't even realize they're in their own way. And so I thought you guys would be like a marriage made in heaven, and I'm just so excited to see you guys work together.
Great. I'm very excited to see what'll happen here. So, just one little thing before I get you going and get you warmed up a little bit is I love the fact that, Jackie, you said that, Sorelle, you are willing to just do anything and try anything. One of the things that my late husband used to always say is you have to have the courage to be bad before you can be good. You have to have the courage to just put it out there, let it just fall apart, and then we fix it. And if you're, what I always say, especially when we're getting more into a mixy belt and really kind of going for it, what I always say to everybody is if you're even a little bit hesitant, it's not going to work. So just going for it, just letting it, I love that you have that characteristic already. So that's great. You just go for it. We'll see what's going on. So I'll get you going here. And what I do with just about everybody is have you exhale all of your air, inhale as you bring your arms up, exhale just to get the air going in and out. So do that a few times. Great, and real easy. You don't need to force it. Try it again. Take your time with it. One more. That's it. Just get the air moving. That's always a good idea, right? So, as I always say to all of my students, usually I always start everybody by emphasizing the head voice side because we speak in the chest voice all day long, right? So the warming up part is literally stretching the vocal cords and getting that higher part of the voice going. So, just those three notes with a very easy ooh, see what comes out. Great, just like that. Great, so far so good, right? Now let's start with that top note. Do it with a staccato ooh, and then come down the whole arpeggio. Keep the top one, that was great. Keep the top one connected to the bottom three. So, and then connect it that way. Yeah, Yep. Great. Now, just to get you moving, we're still going to stay on the head voice side, but I want to get things just moving around a little bit. So we're going to go quickly, and you're going to do this with a, let me try it with a G. Goo, goo, goo. Three times. Just let it fly. Goo, goo, goo.
Wait, sorry, can you play that again?
So you're going to go goo, 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 goo.
Okay. Goo 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 goo.
Exactly. And just let it do whatever.
Goo 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 goo.
Yep.
Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo.
Great. We're going to do exactly the same thing, but instead of a G, you're going to use an L, loo. And let's see what that does, if it changes anything or if it's just different.
Loo 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 loo. Loo 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 loo.
Now that sounded pretty similar to me with the G and the L. Did you notice a difference? Was one easier than the other?
I feel like once I got to like the second one with the Lou, I felt like that one was easier and
Okay.
like yeah, in the
All
movement in
right.
my mouth.
Great. Okay. So then, because that gives me a hint as to my next move, because when I heard it, I thought, well, they sound about the same. Nothing's shutting down, obviously. But since the L was a little easier, I'm actually going to combine the two. So you're going to do glue, glue, glue. And you may want to slow it down a little bit, however it's comfortable. But so the G gets the back of the tongue going, the L gets the front of the tongue going. You've got the tongue working even a little bit more than with just one or the other. So try it with the glue, glue, glue. Three times.
Glue 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 glue.
Yeah, you see, I like that. That seems to kind of really free something up. How does that feel?
It feels like I'm moving a lot more and it's feeling more like smooth.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, let the tongue move a lot. That was great.
Glue 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 glue. Glue 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 glue. Glue 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 glue.
See, I especially like what that's doing with the top note. The top note's kind of flying off somewhere else. You notice that? Yeah, really good. One more.
Glue 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 glue.
Oh, I lied. One more.
Glue 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 glue.
Yes, really good. Really, really good. See, I like what that does. That kind of frees things up even a little bit more. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try one more with this idea because I like the idea that once we get the tongue moving a little bit more, it seems to be freeing up the sound. So you're going to do it one time through, but instead of just GL, we're going to add an E. So you're going to do gliu, gliu. So gliu, 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 and just one time through.
Glue 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 glue.
That's it.
Glue 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 glue.
Yep.
Glue 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 glue.
Yep.
Glue 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 glue. Glue 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 glue. Glue 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 glue.
Excellent.
Glue 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 glue.
Yeah. So what that does with the adding that E is it gets the sides of the tongue involved. So now your tongue is just kind of mobile and just doing its thing. And we've got that head voice part of your voice all warmed up. Now let's see what your chest voice is doing. Um, You know what? Let's do it like that. So do it with just an ah. Obviously, we're in the chest voice territory. Doesn't have to be really big, just nice and easy. So ah, hold top a little bit and down. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Great. Wonderful. That's easy peasy, right?
Yes.
So you have a really good, obviously a good chest voice. You have a really good head voice. Now it's how do these guys come together? So let's do that part. Just plain old ah, hold the top a little bit. You're obviously going to start with some kind of a chest voice, but then just let it do whatever it wants to do. Whatever's easy, doesn't have to be belty, doesn't have to be, just whatever the notes want to do when they come out. So ah, again, hold it just a little bit, and then you come back down. So then you notice the top one shifted to more of a head voice, right? Beautiful, you just notice that. So that was very interesting. So you notice it went chest voice, head voice, head voice. Then on the way back down, it added chest voice and then chest voice, chest voice. So again, those are just the things you notice. Where does it want to be chest voice? Where does it want to be head voice? And whichever it wants to do, it doesn't matter. Just that you notice it. One or two more. And same as the last one, yep. Good, and that was also similar, but on the way back down, it was a little bit more head voice instead of chest voice, right? Great. Now you notice there's a big distinction between the chest voice sound and the head voice sound. So let's fix that right now and get that head voice, excuse me, a little bit more like the chest voice. We're going to do it this way. So this is what I do with just about everybody. It works differently for different people, but let's see how it works for you. You're going to be these three notes. You're going to sing those three notes, and it's going to be with a K and an A. Bright, 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 obnoxious. This is not supposed to be pretty. Just see what happens with it. It's going to be something similar to just bright, 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 ugly, obnoxious. See what comes. Don't worry if it feels like a head voice, if it feels like a chest voice, just bright and obnoxious. Exactly. And you just notice the sound and you make it as bright as you possibly can. Exactly. And if the bottom one wants to be a little bit even more chest voice, that's also fine. It doesn't all have to feel the same, and it doesn't have to be smooth. It can be a little bit more aggressive on the bottom one. The tops are fine, but now that we're getting closer to the chest voice, just be a little bit more boom with it. It's starting to sound too pretty. Can you get it a little bit more ah and keep the real ah sound? It's getting a little ca ah, ah. It's almost kind of closing down a little bit. Keep it real ca. Let it be a big break. Let it be ugly. It doesn't matter. Yes, like that, like that, like that. Now, see, that's interesting, and I'm going to point this out. That is the one thing that most people hate to do in singing. They hate to have that break. They said, "Oh my God, I can't have that break." Yeah, you can have that break. This is not a piece of music. I don't care if there's a big break. You have to allow for that flexibility of it to do that weird thing. Now, when it did that, it didn't hurt or anything, did it? No, of course not. It just kind of clunked into a chest voice, which is absolutely fine. Let it clunk into a chest voice. You just notice the difference between the upper one and the lower one, and it's all a broad ca. Next one. Great. So you hear what's going on in that bottom one? It gets a little
Yeah.
broader, it gets a little bit more chesty, it gets a little
Yeah.
louder, right? Keep thinking that even though the top one's going to be heady, think that idea on the top one.
Ca-
Exactly. That's great.
ca-
Now it's all starting to feel more chesty, right? Great. Now you hear that sound. Don't worry about again how it feels. If it feels like a chest voice, if it feels like a head voice, just go for that sound. We're going to take it from the bottom up with that same ka. See what happens.
ca-
Exactly. Now you have to promise me as we go higher, you just go for it. Let it be the wrong one. Let it do whatever it needs to do. Just don't back off.
ca-
Brilliant.
ca-
Now for this next one, make sure you take a big breath. So far, it seems like you're breathing like a normal person, which is amazing. Most people do weird breathing things. You're not doing that. That's wonderful. Just take a lot of air and let the sound fly.
ca-
Exactly. Now, how did that top one feel? I mean, did it feel like it was tight or did it feel okay?
A little bit more narrow, but it felt like okay, like it didn't like hurt or anything. But yeah, a
Okay,
little bit
great.
more narrow.
Great. Now, maybe that's how you feel it. Maybe it doesn't have to feel wide. Maybe for you, it needs to feel narrow. I don't know. You have to feel it the way you feel it. I just don't want it to be constricted. If it's not constricted and it feels more narrow, fabulous. We'll do that. Try the next one. You just go for it, but know that it might not feel like the one before. Might feel like something different. Big breath, let it go.
Ca-
Little borderline, but that's okay. We're going to go to the next one anyway. You notice there's a hint of it trying to go somewhere else. That's great. That's what we want because, again, it's not going to feel like the other ones. It's not as free as it could be, but we're going to do one more anyway. You just go for it, see what happens. Now, did you hear what happened there?
Yeah, it kind of like shifted. I don't know exactly what happened, but like I definitely heard a difference.
Yes, it shifted just slightly, but it matched everything else. It wasn't a big break. It just kind of shifted, but it shifted because you went for it as if it were chest voice. But then it wasn't quite chest voice, but it was kind of chest voice. So the right mixes that one needs in this upper range, and that's a D. So the right mixes that you need up there are these kind of they shift, but they don't shift. But if you were to go for just the shift, then it would be a big break and it would be too heady. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a weird thing. I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop on that. Wait a minute, let me just look very quickly at this music. Oh, perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, Jackie, I'm going to bring you in because now we're going to go to the music. Now that I've got you going with that weird kind of mix, I'm not even going to have you try to do it again. Just sing the song. Let's see, just do your interpretation thing. Let's see how this all incorporates. And then if it needs fixing, we'll do fixing.
Go get him,
Okay,
Tiger.
great. Let's do
So
this.
just take a second and breathe and center yourself. And whenever you're ready, on your own time, you don't have to rush it for us. Okay?
Gotcha.
Cool.
Just let me know if this is too loud. Can you hear that? So your best friend screwed you over, acted nice when she not nice. Well, I have some advice, because it's happened to me twice. Here's my secret strategy. It always works because the world doesn't end. It just feels like it does. So raise your right finger and solemnly swear whatever they say about me, I don't care. I won't twist in knots to join your games. I will say you make me mad. And if you treat me bad, I'll say you're bad. And if I eat alone from this moment on, that's just what I'll do. Because I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. We're supposed to all be ladies and be nurturing and care. Is that really fair? Boys get to fight and we have to share. Here's the way that turns out. We always understand how to slap someone down with our underhand. So here's my right finger. It's how girls should behave. Because sometimes what's meant to break you makes you brave. So I will not act all innocent. I won't fake apologize. Let's just fight and then make up, not tell these lies. Let's call our damage, even clean a slate till it's like new. It's a new life for me, where I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'll say no. I'll say knock it off with your notes and your rules and your games and those sycophants who follow you. I'll remember all their names, and when they drag you down like they inevitably do, I will not laugh along with them and approve their palace coup, because that's not me. I don't need their good opinions. I have plenty of opinions. Everybody has opinions, but it doesn't make them true. What's true is being me, and I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. So raise them high, cause playing nice and shy is insulting my IQ. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you.
Okay. I've heard her sing this song so many times, and she's usually sung it actually much, much better than this. And I knew she was going to get in trouble from the beginning because she wasn't breathing.
Correct.
And she was really, and you had this heaviness that you normally don't have. You usually are much more on the upper side, and you don't bring your chest up so heavy. And that's what happens when we oversing, when we're nervous, because we're not breathing. So I totally understand. I am guilty of it. Donna knows. She's my teacher.
Oh, yeah, she's big time guilty of it.
Very, 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 very guilty of it. I get nervous. I push, right? And so I think this is such a great exercise in the fact that, nerves play such a big role in our performances. Like, we're something you normally can sing, and you still sounded gorgeous, don't get me wrong, and you're still
absolutely, absolutely.
just because I know you and I know this song and on you, it was interesting to watch how the nerves came into play. And so from the acting side, and then I'm going to let Donna take it away, is that when you're starting to feel nervous, remember we talked about it, where it's just acknowledging the elephant in the room rather than just like running away from it and being like, I'm not nervous, running away. Acknowledging it. Remember, the audience can't read your mind. So just once you acknowledge and go, oh my God, I'm totally freaking out, I'm holding my breath. Now you've acknowledged it. Now you can deal with it and you can move forward. And now you're back in the present moment rather than continuing to push something away and never getting to that present moment, because you're constantly running away from something and it's never going to get better. So when you feel that, and I know you're smart enough to know, then acknowledge it and be like, okay, this isn't going the way I want it to go. I'm really nervous right now. I need to just breathe. And when you bring yourself back to the breath, then you can move forward. But you got to acknowledge it, right? Rather than just hold on and hold on and hold on for dear life, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that's
brilliant. Brilliant advice. Brilliant advice. And yes, that is one thing I noticed, is that the breaths were now they're not long breaths for this piece. Obviously, they're quick breaths, but there's a quick breath that goes, where something moves, and there's the breath that goes where nothing's moving. And I noticed with you, nothing was moving. So one of the things that we as performers have to learn how to do, because one of the things about breathing is when anybody is nervous, you don't breathe. That's just what human beings do. But we as performers have to be nervous and breathe. So we have to be nervous and learn how to breathe at the same time. So I'll tell you what I want to do. Just take it right from the beginning. Don't even worry about the accompaniment because we're going to stop and start here. So that's where it starts. That's the note you start on, right? Just sing the first few lines, and we're not even going to get to any kind of a hard part or anything. Let's see. Well, we'll see how it goes. So the only thing I want you to concentrate on is forget about interpretation for the moment. I just want you to notice what is my body doing when I breathe to sing these different phrases. So sing maybe the first two, three, four, five phrases, whatever, and just notice how does the air feel going in? Do you feel like you have enough air for the phrase? You don't need a lot of air, they're little phrases, but just be bodily aware of what's going on with that. So start it out. Again, don't even worry about interpretation. Don't even worry about how you sound, because this part's easy for you. Just notice what is my body doing in the breathing. So try it again.
So your best friend screwed you over, acted nice when she not nice. Well, I have some advice, cause it's happened to me twice. Here's my secret strategy. It always works because the world doesn't end. It just feels like it does. So raise your right finger
Okay,
and
good enough.
smile.
Good enough. Perfect. Tons better already. Did you notice a difference? And what did you notice in your body?
I noticed like I took note of where I was breathing, like where it felt natural to breathe, I guess, and like where kind of the breaks were in the lines because they're kind of fast. But yeah.
Yes. And the way you were breathing, again, it's not a lot, but I noticed a movement in your body. So the in breath, there should always be a movement in the body. It doesn't have to be a big, obviously, but the little movements you had were these little things. And you know what? It was the breathing that had to do with what she's going through and what she's singing. So this is happening and that is happening, and you say this and you say this, and I'm really upset, and blah, blah, blah. And do you see? It's that kind of breathing, but things have to move. It can't be like that. So if somebody's really upset, they probably do hold their breath, but you have to do your breath in a way that, yeah, you're upset, but you're not holding your breath. That was
Okay.
great. And that lightened, quote unquote, lightened up your voice. As you pointed out, Jackie, it was a little heavy, right? This one was not. Now, let's
So
get to,
you still were holding your breath a little bit. So I mean, it was better, and Donna and I both saw it. But you got better as it went on. But the very first one, so your best friend screwed you over night when she not nice, and you have that little break right after when she not nice. This was your breath. You like literally like you thought about breathing and like but didn't quite commit to it. So just commit to breathing, whatever it is. Like Donna's saying how it's like they're like tiny little breaths, but even in those tiny little breaths, everything's moving. Your back is opening up. Donna's always like, breathe out of your back, Jackie, you know what I mean? Like get everything moving rather than everything here. So like now that she's telling you to focus on breathing, think to yourself, we're not thinking about the acting. Every time you take a breath, like truly take that breath, commit to breathing. That's all you have. That's all she's asking you to do right now. Okay.
that's it.
Gotcha.
That's a great catch that I didn't catch, Jackie. So we're going to do it again. That's fabulous. Thank you. No, 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 no. Chime in.
I know her so well now.
So let's do the same thing, exact same thing, same place. And, we'll see how far we'll go. But you just think of those little, just again, it's just all about how am I feeling that breath and is it making sense in the phrase? So once more.
So your best friend screwed you over, acted nice
I'm,
when she
I'm
not.
going to tell you why I'm going to stop you. The first breath that you took, because it's the very first breath, might have been a little bit too much air. And this is another point. When we take a little bit too much air for the first one, then the air never kind of gets out and then it gets a little bit backed up. So the first breath might be a little bit too, I mean, it wasn't long, but it might have been a little bit too long. Maybe that first breath can be a little bit shorter, maybe.
Okay.
And
Just
Okay.
a suggestion, see what that does.
and
Jackie, you have something to
jump
say?
on to make you feel like just from the acting point of view, if you want. I mean, we're not talking about the acting, but think about if you're in the middle of like you're watching something and you're about to say something, you're not like, it's like, oh, Sorelle, I've been meaning to tell you something. Or like, oh, so this happened to you? Oh, and you take like the breath you're not saying. You're not like, oh, so this, no, you're in the middle of like jumping in on something, right? So you're in the middle of being like, oh, so this happened to you? Well, that's happened to me too. And da da da, right? Like, do you get what I'm saying? So just
Yeah, yeah.
don't make a meal out of like, oh God, I have to take this breath because I'm about to start the song. Think about the circumstances. You're very comfortable with being like, I'm going to tell you my piece. So this happened to you. Well, this happened to me, right? So that will inform the
Right.
breath that Donna's telling you to take. Because when you take those too big of breaths, as Donna has told me a million times, we actually choke ourselves. Like we're like, we take too much and then we have too much air, like I've said before. So you have to, it's like this very fine line, right, that she's talking about. But just think of the circumstances as well of, this isn't like gearing up to say the Gettysburg Address. This is like talking to people. You're just talking to a group of girls that you're like, you guys are all being ridiculous. So this happened. Why are we all acting crazy? Right?
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm glad you jumped in there because that's exactly why we're collaborating and doing this. Because what I want to do and let everybody know is how technique and acting are like hand in hand together, crossing fingers, like really, really tightly wound up together. So do both of those things. That's great. Try it again.
Okay. So your best friend screwed you over, acted nice when she not nice. Well, I have some advice, 'cause this happened to me twice. Here's my secret strategy. It always works because the world doesn't end. It just feels like it does. So raise your right finger and solemnly swear whatever they say about me, I don't care.
Okay, great, 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 great. All right, I'm going to do one little thing, just a little technical thing. Go back to that weird cat ad that we were doing before, right? From the upper side, as bright, bright, bright as you can make it. Cat, bright, bright, and hold the bottom note and hear what you have.
Sorry, can you do that one more time?
So just going to do cat and hold that bottom note and see what you get, as bright as you can make it. Now, obviously that's heady. Can you make that a little bit more of a bright heady? Breathe and use the k to help you. It's way back there. Let the k kind of launch it off for you and make sure you don't push. Just make the k gets it there for you. Ka, like an exclamation. Now you notice that bottom one, obviously it's head voice and it's not as strong as the chest voice, but you notice how it feels very different from the chest voice one, right?
Yeah.
Now, do it this way. From the bottom, it's definitely going to be beltier. It's definitely going to be chestier, but hear the upper side and have a little tiny bit of that head voice in there. It's not going to feel like a head voice, but just know that there's a little bit more of that in there. So in other words, hear the upper harmonics like that head voice, but it's not the head voice. So straight up, and then just stop on top. Oh, no, but don't switch it.
No, don't switch it. Okay.
Now, you notice how that one is a little bit more upper harmonics and a little bit more on the upper side than when you sang, what is that line? So raise your right finger. Does that feel different?
Yeah. Like I felt like I was just like it when I just did the cat. It like did the like little bit like different placement, but it felt like a little bit of head on the top, but it like I didn't switch. And with the
Yes,
care, I was like just pushing it like really, really hard.
exactly. So let's do that line. Sorry, I can't read this, but you know the line. Now, so raise your right finger and go for the right, like the like that sound.
Okay. So raise your right finger.
That's a huge difference.
Way better. Like I didn't feel like I was like shoving it really hard and it didn't like feel like it was weird. Yeah. It felt like it just,
Exactly. So you don't have to work that hard. That was brilliant. Do that again and then keep going with the song.
okay. So raise your right finger and solemnly swear whatever they say about me, I don't care.
So do you notice the difference? And did that feel easier?
It felt way easier. That felt so different. Like,
Yep.
wow.
And that's what you want to do. So, especially when you start from the bottom and you're in the chest voice and it's a very emotional song. You can't drag that chest voice up. You can't switch it, but you kind of switch it. That's the best way I can possibly put it, but you've just experienced that. Jackie,
I
you wanted to
see.
say something?
No, that was so great. I loved it. So like yeah, so what she's doing right now, just to sweep for your head, is that she's making the chords thinner so that way you're not dragging all this weight up, right? It's like a, a guy trying to like lift 500 pounds, right? But yet keep it, in the air and not get too heavy, so she's trying to thin out your vocal cords so that you're not bringing all this baggage up, which is too hard, right? And you don't need to work that hard. So I love that she's making you realize that you can still belt and sound so effortless without all that work. And
Yeah,
that's why you're running into trouble and running out of steam at the end of the song, is that you've been
correct.
working too hard the entire time and you have nowhere to go. So I think we've talked about it before, where it's like, don't start at a 10, because once you start at a 10, you can't go anywhere else, right? So you have to find those vocal dynamics. And just a really quick thing on the I, just don't go to the diphthong at the end. You know what I mean? Keep it pure. So don't go, I don't care. Do you hear how
Yeah,
you're closing it down?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't care, right? Just
yeah.
keep it open and pure.
Okay.
Now I'm going to show you how to do this at the very end because it's be with you. And ooh is the most difficult one to sing, vowel to sing with this mixie belt, right? Now you've got be with you. If I recall, I'd rather be me than you took a breath and then be with you. Is that where you took the breath?
Yeah, I think I took it in the middle of somewhere where I wasn't supposed to, just because I thought I was like, because I knew I was panicking towards the end. And so I just
Okay.
kind of did like this last like reach.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's take it from basically the top of that page. I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me than, and don't sing the last be with you.
Okay.
So just do, you know about where I'm talking about, where in the
Yeah.
music, right? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. So just do all of that, but take the breath as if you are going to sing be with you, but don't sing it.
Okay.
So I'd rather be me, I'd rather be etc. etc. And then let's take it from there.
Okay. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. Oh, wait. Was I supposed to stop? Sorry, I went too far. Did I go
No.
too far?
Tell me where you breathe. There, rather be me. That do you take a breath, then be with you, or do you say then breath? Where do you take the breath?
I think I took two the last time. I'd rather be me than be breathe than be wait, no. I'd rather be me than be breathe with breathe you. That's where I took a breath, but I didn't really need that many. I guess not. Yeah.
Yeah. So the way that we had been working on it, and the way that's better, because you self-sabotage because you took too many breaths. So I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me than be with. Then we take the big you, right?
Okay. Rather be
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
then. So I'd rather be me than breath.
We can do it there. It doesn't matter. The ultimate thing is that the final breath should be right before you. Wherever she wants to take it in the phrase before is fine, except for the with, like how she did. She was like, rather be me than be with you, is what she did, which
Got it.
sabotaged
Got
her.
it. Got it.
I
Got it.
don't care where she breathes as long as it's
Got it. Got
nice.
it. Okay, so, because what I wanted to do is, I wanted you to feel after going through, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, I'd rather be me, if you were ready to take the breath to go up to that be natural. So that's why I wanted you to stop somewhere in there because what you might feel is I'd rather be that, I'd rather be, and then you want to take the next breath and it goes, and you can't. So I wanted you to feel, is the air out? And are you ready to take the breath for that be natural, no matter where it is you're breathing? Make sense?
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
totally get it. Yeah.
okay, great. Do it again. And then maybe if you don't take the breath, me, then be, and then you want to take the breath before with you, then don't sing the with you and just take the breath. What, Jackie?
Okay.
Sorry. She can't take a breath before with. So, and finish the phrase, then be with, then stop.
Okay, so it's got to be before the you.
Yeah.
Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, fine. I was just confused as to how
Yeah.
that was.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, great. Then sing be with, take the breath for you and don't sing the you.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
From the same
Gotcha.
place then.
I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with.
Now, what did you notice with that breath?
Felt like I was out of breath by the time I had finished with, and I had taken I felt ready to take another breath and like exactly as much as I would need to finish out the phrase.
That's what it looked like. So I wanted you to experience that because it looked like, yeah, I'm out of breath. I'm ready for the you. You could have sung that you. Do you see? It was great. Now, I'm going to give you one other little hint. Did you have something to say, Jackie?
Yeah, they're doing something right now that's sabotaging you that you haven't done before is that you keep like falling off the notes on be with. You're kind of
Ah,
like rather than center be with, just hit them. Don't be with. Like you're letting so much. You're making it so that you're more tired and more out of breath than you normally would be there because you're doing these like weird like scoopy things which take more air out. So just hit the notes, the center of the notes, hold it, you know what I mean, and finish it. Be literal about what you're saying, acting wise. Like rather be me than be with, right? Like making sense. Pointed. You're pointing, telling them like you'd rather be yourself than be them. So if you lackadaisically like be with, you're not making your point. Make your point. Then be with you, right? It's pointed.
Right.
Finish.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
yeah, good
Gotcha.
point. Try it again. Go through the whole thing. Think all those things. Let's see what happens.
Okay. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you.
Okay, fine. I'll fix the you for you. That was great. Now, uh, do this for me. Give me just a second here. Let me see where it is in the music. Do the one that goes, I'd rather be me. Just sing that phrase.
I'd rather be me.
Okay, great. Sing that phrase again and hold the top note and notice what you have. So I'd
I'd,
rather.
oh, sorry. I'd rather be me.
You notice that?
Yeah,
You feel that and you hear that?
yeah.
Now, what I want you to do is, I'd rather be with you. And I want the be with you, even if it doesn't sound like the right vowels to you, to be like the ah. So
Okay,
even distort those vowels, just do that and then go with the words, but have them be like that, I'd rather. So
okay,
take plenty of air for this. because it's how did it go again? Sorry. I'd rather, that's it. Sorry, I got confused. So I'd rather be with you, just so that you can get where those guys go.
Okay. Okay. I'd
I'm going to stop you there. You definitely need more air for this. Even though, so you, for the moment, don't worry about breathing with the phrase as much as you need a little bit more air, just for what we're doing here. So, I'd
rather be with
and hold that ooh to the end, yeah. You
you. Okay.
backed off a little bit on
I
it
kind of backed off. Yeah. I bet,
because
like,
it
I don't know.
surprised you because it was so good, right?
I think so. I don't know. Yeah.
That was good. So you get the sense of where that be with you should be. It's
Yeah.
like that it's like that rah, which you do so easily, and it's so nicely on that upper side.
Thank you. Okay.
Wait,
I felt it though. Like I felt for like the be with, and then I like the you. I kind of like was like not thinking about it, but like yeah, I felt it, and that felt much better than any other time I've done it. Much
so
better.
let's do the same exercise again and hang on to that U. And remember the U and the E and the I, they'll sound to you extremely distorted. Let them not sound like the vowels they are, especially the U. It leans toward that A. So do exactly the same thing again.
Okay. I'd rather be. Wait. Wait.
No,
Oh,
it's
sorry. Wrong one.
I'd rather
Gotcha.
be with you.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry about that.
All right.
I'd rather be with you.
Exactly. And that's where those notes go.
Gosh, wow. That was crazy. Oh my gosh.
Now, can we start it from the beginning of that phrase, where we started the beginning of that page, excuse me, same thing. And when you get there, that's where those guys go. See, it makes you yawn. Yeah! That's always a good sign.
Yay.
So do
Okay.
it again from the beginning of that page as we've been doing, and that you know where you're going with those guys. Remember, the vowels are distorted, distorted.
Gotcha.
And one little tiny thing. When you get to that, I'd rather be me, that'll remind your voice where the end has to go.
Okay. That
Great.
last one.
Same
Okay.
thing.
And if the vowels are a little, can I like maybe shift them a little bit to try and find it? Like the
Yeah, totally. And remember, they don't have to sound like the vowels that you think they should sound like. So, in other words, most of us, when we sing, especially when it's higher and when it's belty, we want those vowels to sound like speech vowels. They cannot sound like speech vowels. They are distorted, and out here they're not distorted. We know you're saying "be with you," but it kind of comes out "be with you."
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Did you see how, wait, really quick, did you see how Donna just did her U?
Yeah, like a different the
Be
other vowel, like the
with you.
And she almost, rather than you, right now, sometimes when you go you, and it gets really tight, rather than yeah, well, I don't even know how she did it because I can't do it like that, but she,
But it's like the "a." Just know that it's like the "a."
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Great.
Yes. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be me than be with you. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I kind of played around with it a little bit, and then I went back to the like the E or something, and then I just when I started with the A, it sounded or it felt much better. Whoa, like when I just thought of the rather instead of for the ending part. Yeah.
Yep, yep. And just the way you were playing with it, now that's how you play with it. So you go home and you play with it that way and you say, okay, I got it, I got it, I got it. Okay, it's there. Okay, now I'm going to try it. Now I'm going to do it. And then you were able to kind of get it and then get it and then it was great. It's exactly how you want to play with it.
Okay, that felt really like I felt like I unlocked something. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And that's the bottom line. When it feels better for you that way, then you know you're in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Jackie, any follow-up things that
No, just trust yourself, and just like, again, like Donna was saying, is, you got to be able to fall before you get up, right? You got to be able to make mistakes. So play with that, the me, and that's where you went off just on the last part, was like you got in your head again and went kind of a little bit back to your old habit of closing down on the me, and then you remember what Donna said on the rah, and you were like meh, which helped you. So, and like what Donna always says, usually when you have trouble with a note, it's that, not that note that set you, it's the note before that set you up, or the two notes before, whatever it is. So with you, it's just making sure that you don't get scared of the me. You're not getting scared of this big phrase that's coming forward, and allowing yourself to manipulate and play around with it and find spaces that feel good to you, that aren't heavy. That way you're not getting in your head and closing down already. You know what I'm saying? And keeping it open,
Yeah.
telling you to keep it open, and manipulating the vowel in the way until it gets so easy that you might not have to after a while, right? But like getting that right
absolutely.
capacity at first, maybe you have to go, then be with, right? Rather than be with, because in the beginning, you got to figure it out before you get to that next part, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also, I love the way that you just demonstrated that, Jackie, because the way Jackie would sing this at the end is not the way you would sing it, because you are two different people. Your cavity, your features are way different than her cavity, her features. So the way you're going to shape it or form it, or the way you feel, or the way you quote unquote place it, is going to be your thing that you have to find. I can set it up for you. It's usually toward an A vowel for everybody, but everybody feels that differently because they have a bigger mouth, a bigger cavity, a smaller cavity. So it's not that you're doing it exactly the way somebody else does it. You're just kind of getting a sense of that and then finding your own way to get there.
All
Absolutely. So
right.
everybody's an individual. So as soon as you feel that easefulness, then you're like, got it. That's the one. That's the one. Very good. Well, thank you so much. And thank you again for being so courageous and coming here and just putting it all out there and, just being there, let me work with you. I really thank you so, 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 so much for that.
Thank you guys so much for inviting me. This was literally one of the best 45 minutes ever. Like, seriously, I feel like something just went in my brain and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Thank you so much, both of you, all of you.
Awesome. Awesome. And Jackie, as always, love you so much. Thank you.
Guys,
Thank you.
thank you. This was so fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching Donna Reid Talks Voice. If you have any questions for me about this episode, or if you'd like to join me on a future episode, please visit donnareedtv.com and click Contact.